We are still building up for Survivor Series, but next week, Drew McIntyre will be taking on Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. This is your Raw review. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about Monday Night Raw. This was a poor episode of Raw. I'm not even going to lie. Guys, 3 hours of this was a lot. Sprinkled with a couple of good matches towards the end of the show. But yeah, man, this was not a good show. But we are going to get into everything that happened on Monday Night Raw right here, right now. So stay tuned. And right here, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW on this channel. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And of course, no matter where you're watching, Facebook or YouTube, make sure you give us those thumbs up, those likes. We're thoroughly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into your Raw review. And the show kicked off with a segment. Miz, John Morrison, these guys came out for Miz's show. And he was pretty much selling the fact that, you know, he is the Money in the Bank holder right now, that he can cash in later on in the night on Randy Orton. These men had a 6-man tag match lined up against the New Day and Drew McIntyre. And he was kind of teasing that, you know, I could cash in tonight if I really, really wanted to. Randy Orton wasn't happy with this. Randy Orton came straight down to the ring and Randy Orton was like, listen, you know, all these threats, blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're going to do this, do it. Randy Orton kind of just dropped the WWE Championship, turned his back to the Miz and said, you know, go on then, do it, sort of thing. And the Miz kind of cooled him down and, you know, let him know that, you know, we're a team tonight, we are a team, we have to work together, all this kind of stuff. New Day soon came out, who were actually meant to be the guests on Miz TV that week, yesterday night, should I say, and didn't really say much of nothing. Were kind of just throwing jabs at Randy Orton and Miz and Morrison, and they were soon taken out. I think Kofi got taken out first by an RKO, brilliant RKO. And then Drew McIntyre came running down to the rescue. He was going to be the New Day's partner on the night. Had a bit of a brawl with Randy Orton. Miz and Morrison and Randy Orton got the upper hand on Drew McIntyre in that instance, and the New Day, I guess, in that instance. And like I said, they were going to go on to have a 6-man tag match, all of these men involved later on in the night. So yeah, that's how the show opened. It wasn't anything special, you know. It was just like it just was what it was, wasn't it? Next up, we had a qualifying match for the last position on the men's Raw team for Survivor Series. Elias versus Jeff Hardy versus Riddle. This match wasn't bad. This match wasn't bad at all. Is this the first time, maybe the second time, Matt Riddle has been in front of the camera as Riddle? Yeah, this was a pretty solid triple threat match. You know, a 3 out of 5 or something like that, 3.5. It was pretty decent. In the end, I think Jeff Hardy was going to put Riddle away. You saw Elias run in with a big knee to Jeff Hardy, who fell out the ring, and then Riddle got Elias in the Broderick, nailed him with that. 1, 2, 3, and Riddle moves on to join the Survivor Series, the men's team, the Raw men's team. He's the last member of that team. And for me, it was pretty interesting. Obviously, Riddle has not had a very good time of it in the last couple of weeks, even since he moved over to Raw. You know, his final days on SmackDown, if you want to put it as that. He hasn't had the best time of it, losing a lot of matches. And maybe just because he has switched his name from Matt Riddle to Riddle now, maybe they think they can, you know, kind of put him back where he needs to be. I don't know who they think they're fooling. We all know it's still Matt Riddle. But I know they're probably thinking, with all the charges and allegations against his name, removing the Matt from the Riddle, maybe in terms of search engines and stuff like that, he won't come up. I don't know. But yeah, Riddle has been kind of given a second wind now that he's joined the men's Raw team. So that was good to see. I do like Matt Riddle, and I hope going forward after Survivor Series and everything, he is kind of used better. Next up on the card, we had Lana versus Shayna Baszler. Didn't really understand the point of this match. I mean, it looks like you know what? I'm going to speak about Survivor Series. Hopefully, I remember at the end of this show. I'm going to speak a bit about Survivor Series. But why do they have to convey every single time that the teams don't get along? The superstars within the teams don't get along. Like, it's just bare silly. Like, you guys are brought together to face the other side, you know, the opposition. But you have to bicker for weeks and weeks and weeks on end before you get there. It's just so annoying. Every single year it's the exact same thing. But anyway, like I said, I'll speak more on Survivor Series at the end of this show if I remember to. Lana versus Shayna Baszler. This was trash. This nothing positive to say. With Lana being put through a table continuously, they are clearly trying to make her some type of babyface, you know, get some sympathy on her from the crowd, from the fans watching. But for us to like Lana, to make her a babyface, she has to do something where she's liked rather than it's just complete sympathy, because it's gone past the point of sympathy now. She's just like a chump. You see what I mean? Let me know if you agree with that. I feel like she has to do more to be liked rather than just continuously beaten up. We don't feel sorry for you at this point. Like, Lana's always been a very controversial character anyway. So the way they're just flip-flopping her between heel and face, you're gonna have to do a lot more to get her to be liked. This match didn't last long at all. She was put in the Fujiwara, what did they call it? The Kirifuda clutch, sorry. She was put in the Kirifuda clutch and tapped out. And that was it. I think at that point, Nia Jax tried to put her through a table. She was stopped by Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, who were ringside. I thought, oh, finally, the table spot thing is done with this. But it wasn't done. They just saved it for later on the night. So, yeah, Shayna Baszler gets a win in a poor match over Lana. Next up, we had a segment where I think AJ Styles had said backstage to a backstage interview that he was going to have a team meeting with all of his team, because obviously they're all on different wavelengths. Now, this was a bit of a repeat from what we saw last week when they were all not getting along in the ring. Obviously, with the addition now of the final member, Matt Riddle. So yeah, they had this meeting, so to speak, where they were just trying to get over, you know, who is the captain, who should be listened to, whose accolades are strongest, all of this kind of stuff. And this match basically became a tag match for men to kind of let off steam, if you want to put it that way. So we had Keith Lee and Riddle versus Sheamus and Braun Strowman. And Keith Lee and Riddle were getting along somewhat. I guess the only odd thing that we saw was a spirit bomb by Keith Lee to Riddle onto Sheamus. Not a good way to treat your partner, I guess. But yeah, we saw that. Braun Strowman and Sheamus were more at loggerheads throughout the match. In the end, Sheamus was pinned. I think he had tagged himself back in after Strowman was on a little run, and Sheamus was pinned. So yeah, still wasn't really, really good. But in the end, the side of Keith Lee and Matt Riddle got the win here. Again, I mean, I'm still asking the same question. Why do these guys have to fight and be angry with each other before they all team together? It just doesn't really make much sense to me. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. AJ Styles has been very good in this. And to be honest, all of the men's performances have been very good. It's just the story is just not compelling enough. It's just doesn't really make a lot of sense, if you ask me. Next up, we had the Hurt Business in action in the shape of Bobby Lashley, the United States champion. He came out to the ring, and I think he was coming out effectively just for a segment to kind of put over himself as the United States champion against, Sami Zayn, who's making a lot of noise, who he's taking on at Survivor Series, the Intercontinental champion. And Bobby Lashley was basically saying, yeah, after I said my piece last week, I didn't hear Sami Zayn come with any rebuttal. That, yeah, obviously I'm going to beat Sami Zayn at Survivor Series, so on and so forth. Enter someone who we haven't seen in a very, very long time. Well, not a very, very long time, but we haven't seen compete, I guess, in a very, very long time. In the ring, Titus ONeil. Titus ONeil comes down in his Raw Underground, I guess, get up where he just wears jeans, topless, coming out for a fight. Definitely, he was amped. And Titus ONeil was on some, Bobby Lashley, I wanted to join you guys in the Hurt Business, and you guys rejected me. Fine, whatever. I thought it would be a good match, but I guess not. MVP basically said to Titus ONeil, look, I kind of respect you as a guy because of all the charitable work you do, but I don't want this to kind of divulge into something crazy. Just get out of the ring and leave us be. Titus ONeil didn't take that option. Titus ONeil decided to actually kind of put a challenge out to Bobby Lashley that, you've got that United States Championship. You haven't defended it for the best part of 2 months now. Bobby Lashley bit the bait and said, yeah, you want to fight? We can do this. I don't mind. And it didn't last long at all. Titus ONeil came out the blocks very fast. A lot of punches, a lot of jabs, but it didn't last very long at all. And before you knew it, Bobby Lashley hit him with a spear. Before you knew it, Bobby Lashley put him in the Hurt Lock, the full Nelson lock. And before you knew it, he had tapped out and Bobby Lashley had retained the United States Championship. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was just another kind of pointless segment. No one gained anything from this, really. Could have done without it, but hey, I don't know what to say. This is Raw. I guess this is what we've come to expect from Raw. Next up, we had Asuka versus Nia Jax. Before we get on to that, guys, if you are enjoying today's review, no matter how much or how poor Raw was, should I say, if you're actually enjoying the review, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button, give us a like, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. The like button, the thumbs up button, it is thoroughly appreciated. Every time you smash that button, it does a lot for the channel, and like I say, I appreciate it. So please hit the thumbs up button. Asuka versus Nia Jax. Again, don't know why this match was just kind of put together. Nice to see Asuka. It's nice for Raw to remember they have a very capable women's champion on their show. Haven't seen Asuka in action for a number of weeks now. I know she's had a little bit of backstage segments here and there, but it's not why you sign Asuka, is it? It's not why you sign Asuka. Every time they give her this title, they completely just drop the ball. The last good thing she's done with this title was way back in the summer with Sasha Banks and Bayley. But I digress anyway. She took on Nia Jax. Sorry, I went blank there. And yeah, again, just a complete nothing kind of match. It wasn't bad. It was just middle of the road. It was really middle of the road. Just as Asuka was getting into the ascendancy, she took out, I think, Lana and Shayna Baszler, who got up on the apron, and Nia Jax got put into from a roll-up that Asuka attempted. Nia Jax then got put into the Asuka lock. And obviously she was screaming, looking like she's about to tap. And then we had Shayna Baszler run into the ring and just break it up, started attacking Asuka. Which I guess doesn't leave our women's champion, looking strong. And at this point, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke got into the ring, who were also ringside. Tried to come to Asuka's aid, didn't really work. They were taken out by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler as well. And then Lana, who was also ringside. This was where she got put through the table for an 8th time, I believe. I mean, guys, put down in the comments, do you feel sorry for Asuka? Sorry, do you feel sorry for Lana at this point? Because I don't. You know, I don't feel sorry for her. I don't get the sympathy thing that they're trying to divulge. I think I did at one point. I felt like, you know, at first we all thought this was because of Miro and AEW. And then I thought, yeah, this isn't really cool. This is kind of just like bullying now. But now it's just like, I don't care. I really don't care. This isn't how you make somebody a babyface. So yeah, wasn't very interesting. Next up, we had the biggest cluster. Yeah, I won't use that word, but the biggest mess of a match I have seen in a very, very long time. It was a 7-man 24/7 championship match. Eric from the Viking Raiders versus Tucker versus Drew Gulak versus Lindsay Dorado versus Grand Metalik versus Akira Tozawa versus R-Truth for the 24/7 title. Now the actual match finished very quickly. The actual match finished literally within maybe about 20 seconds of the bell being rung. However, it then just turned into a scrum of, you know, now the 24/7 rules are active again. Who can get the most pins? And all, like, really and truly, they should have just had like a 5-minute Iron Man match. Like, it kind of would have made more sense, because this is what this kind of turned into. This was very poor. It was just lazy. Is it we don't have anything else for someone to fill this gap? Was it let's just give these guys some TV time? I don't know. It was total rubbish. In the end, R-Truth walked in there as champion. I think everyone at least won that title once, and then R-Truth walked out as champion. So it's like, what's the point? What is the point? It's very lazy. And yeah, at this point, I was kind of done with Raw. I can't even lie, I was kind of done with Raw. Next up, however, we had Mustafa Ali and Ricochet. And the name value alone in this match should have got me to kind of sit up and pay closer attention. And I can't lie, because of just how Raw had been going, I didn't pay immediate attention. Only after a short while, I started thinking, you know, look at the guys in the match and what they're trying to do here. This was the best match on the night by a long, long country mile. Yeah, very good stuff. Obviously, Retribution were at ringside, and Ricochet had to be aware of those guys doing their thing on outside and stuff like that, getting up on the apron, trying to cause distractions. Very, very good match. Towards the end of the match, we saw Ricochet get up to the top rope and do like some type of spinning move to the outside to just try and take out the Retribution guy so we can focus on Mustafa Ali. He got back into the ring. I'm not so sure of the name, but he again tried another high-flying maneuver onto Mustafa Ali, which missed Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali locked in a submission around Ricochet to get the win. By a mile. Guys, if you do not want to watch Raw in full, I will not even blame you this week. But at least this match you should go and see. This was a very, very good match on a very, very poor show. This is the standout match of the week for Raw anyway. Yeah, you wanna watch that. Last but not least, we had the 6-man tag match, the main event. Miz, Morrison, Randy Orton versus the New Day and Drew McIntyre. And just before this segment, we had 2 segments, in fact, that I'll quickly talk about. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, their backstage chemistry, you know, they're showing their relationship from old and stuff before they got to America, before they got to WWE. I'm really enjoying it. I don't want Drew McIntyre to be relegated down to like a tag team. I still think he's got a lot to offer at the top of the card. But whenever we do, if we do get a Drew McIntyre Sheamus tag team, I wouldn't mind it. Because I'm really enjoying their backstage chemistry. And before Randy Orton came out for this main event match, he was told by Adam Pearce he will defend his WWE Championship next week against Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm not so sure if Drew McIntyre wins, but it's very interesting that they're having this match the week of Survivor Series where Randy Orton is supposed to take on Roman Reigns. Now, I think the only reason that Randy Orton was made champion was to possibly face Edge down the line when Edge gets better in January. If Edge isn't showing signs of improvement, are they going to scrap Randy Orton as WWE champion? I don't know. I don't really know what the point of this is. Maybe Randy Orton just wins. The match probably just ends in a disqualification. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything that anyone has heard around why they're having this match? And is Drew McIntyre, does he actually have a chance of becoming champion again? Put down below in the comments if you have any rumors or theories around that, because I'll be quite interested. But yeah, getting into the actual 6-man tag main event match. The running theme here was that because of the news of the WWE Championship, it seemed that Randy Orton didn't really want to get involved in this match, whether he was kind of preserving himself or just didn't want to get in the ring with Drew McIntyre. He was not tagging in every time Miz and Morrison asked him for a tag. No, Randy Orton was not involved. He stood on the apron for a long period of the match, just watching the match. At times, he was literally on the floor, just standing, watching the action going on in the ring. He had no interest of being tagged in. Pretty decent match, maybe second best or so match on the night after Ricochet and Ali. Typical 6-man tag action, Drew with the hot tags. And at a point, Randy Orton just more or less left the ringside area, started walking up the entranceway with the WWE Championship. He had just not really cared about what's going on. And I think Randy Orton kind of underlined probably how we all felt watching this Raw, just not bothered, doesn't care. In the end, Drew McIntyre got the win with a Claymore kick, a bit of a stare down from the entranceway to the ring between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. We are going to get that match next week for the WWE Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your Raw. Obviously, we've seen the likes of The Fiend has been mixed within this feud. Didn't see The Fiend this week. Didn't see Bray Wyatt this week. We saw Alexa Bliss in a backstage segment with Nikki Cross where she effectively chose Bray Wyatt over Nikki Cross. But that was it. Maybe they're kind of trying to get us forget about The Fiend out of this picture for now. Maybe The Fiend turns up next week at the WWE Championship match. Who knows? But guys, it wasn't a very good Raw. If there's, I tried to remain positive throughout all my reviews. Anytime I'm talking about wrestling in general, if there's a positive here, it was Ricochet versus Ali. Very, very good match between two very capable guys. We could have known this was going to be a good match as long as they were given adequate time before tonight. So yeah, go and watch that match. If you don't have time to watch the whole of Raw, you don't want to watch the whole of Raw, Ali versus Ricochet, definitely go and watch that. Guys, if you enjoyed the review today, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. It's thoroughly appreciated right here at WrestleManiac UK. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified every time I'm dropping a video or I go live, just like today. And that is it. What a Raw. It wasn't good at all, but we got to the end of it. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you